This December, I returned to Africa for the first time in nearly 8 years. Previously, I had lived and worked in the Central African Republic for a number of years in my early 20s, before a violent civil war forced me to leave. This time, the circumstances of my return to the Dark Continent would be much different. I would be traveling to Tanzania, a country I had never seen before, a much safer and tourist-friendly country. My only hesitation was that this trip might be too touristy, but my safari guide friend Eric Newman, who I would be joining for 2 weeks, assured me that our trip would not disappoint my expectations. He told me that despite the amount of tourists, relatively easy logistics, and infrastructure in the country, it was still possible to have a legitimate adventure. The way he intended to accomplish this was by setting out on our own on a self-guided safari. Eric's girlfriend, Shannon, who was also a resident of Tanzania, would be joining us. We would cook on an open fire, watch the quintessential African sunsets, waiting for the stars to rise and spin above us. We would camp in our tents each night, with only thin nylon fabric separating us from the primal world outside. By the time we arrived to our first destination, the Serengeti National Park, the Great Migration was in its pre-stages, and the amount of wildlife was staggering. Although the Serengeti isn't known for its elephant population per se, the amount of elephants we saw there was utterly astounding. In 5 days, we counted no less than 53 different lions, and this didn't include the lions we were certain we had previously seen. Later, we visited the mountain rainforest of Arusha National Park on the slopes of Mount Meru, and were met with a unique variety of plant and animal life. Perhaps the most intimate wildlife encounters occurred in Serengeti National Park. Family groups of elephants roamed every region we visited, and every morning we awoke to massive animals feeding around our camp. After fruitlessly searching for cheetah for many days, we finally found a large male feeding on a fresh kill in Serengeti. Northern Tanzania is the Africa every child imagines Africa to be. It is the land of the Lion King and PBS nature documentaries. And it is true, this is also where many of the tourists flock to when they visit East Africa. But I got lucky during my trip. With COVID restrictions just starting to loosen up and the wildebeest migration a couple weeks away, we were still a bit early for the tourist arrival. Combine this with our method of traveling on our own and camping on the road. Our journey made for a legitimate African experience. When I consider the time a pack of hyenas surrounded us while we sat around our campfire one night, or the other time lions came through our camp as we lay in our tents, I think our experience was in many ways more authentic than I had originally hoped for. I'll be back next year if all goes as planned, but next time, I got my eyes set on a more ambitious adventure, a journey deep in the remote Selous Game Reserve. Until next time.